All right. Welcome everyone. So if you were watching us a couple of minutes ago and the broadcast got cut off, we apologize about that. For some reason, our microphone stopped working. So we are back and we're live. So here we are. All right. All right. So as we were saying, You know, we're here to answer Facebook group questions. Our Facebook group is the Private Home Care Accelerator group. If you want help with your business, we have some great experts in there, and we have some people that really are focused and dedicated professionals that are there to help you grow your home care agency and plan for strategically to grow and expand and to get things going in the right direction. All right, so just checking here. All right, so now if you are watching, let me take a look here. All right, if you're watching this video with us and you can hear us, let's make sure we can actually see this. You hear me? All right, so give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment below if you hear everything just fine. And if you're watching the replay, please don't forget to give us a like and share. So Cassandra in our group asked, you're an existing agency and you want to expand into a new territory. What are your first three marketing activities? All right. So this again, as I was getting at a moment ago, and by the way, again, once again, give us a sound check, give us a thumbs up. Let us know if you are actually able to hear us this time, and or drop us a comment, and let's see if what we can get going. All right. So there's links and everything to our Facebook group below if you're not already a member and you're watching the replay of this somewhere else. Next point that we're going to talk about is here we are scrolling at the bottom of the screen there. We are holding a territory optimization masterclass. This is to be to help you design your territory from end to end. We'll work with you depending on which version of the ticket you bought. We're going to go through a bunch of tools and we're going to be able to provide them for you on how to look, analyze, and build out your sales territory and service area based on data. Now, our group, along with this program, along with everything done by the Briones Group, it doesn't matter if you are an independent owner or a franchise owner. We are here to strategically help you plan and grow your business. We do not implement culture or anything like that. So we are just talking about systems and tips. All right. So let's go ahead and get on with our presentation here. So to answer the question, all right, you know, how you're an existing agency, how do you expand? What are your first three marketing activities? Well, here's the thing. Um, First thing we want to do is build out and map your service area. This is very, very important. All right, if wherever you're planning to move into a new area to provide service, this is especially important if you are is a part of a franchise. All right, and they're already going to give you your territory, but if you're an independent owner, you really got to nail this down. All right, you got to set some sort of geographic boundary and you have to be able to identify where do your clients live. All right, that is so ridiculously important. If you don't know where your clients live, that's the people that meet the right criteria, as far as income, age, their family, how far they live, everything else. All right. So if you don't know where they live, you cannot build out your territory. You're not going to know where you're going to service, and that means you're not going to know which facilities to go to. So that's where we have to begin. So know where your clients live. The next thing you got to know when you're doing this is you have to understand where the caregivers live. listen, as much as we all love to have that pride of ownership office, we want that beautiful space, everything else, our caregivers are going to go to our office a whole lot more than our potential clients. Also, if you don't know where your clients and caregivers live within relation to each other, it's going to be very hard to staff the cases. All right. This is especially in the private pay space. All right. This is very different. When you're talking about the Medicaid space, usually caregivers don't live too far from where the clients are. And it's not really extra complicated to get them to go there because they live in similar communities or they live in nearby communities. When you're talking about private pay clients versus your caregivers, a lot of times, now there's always exceptions to the rules. I hear this in comments all the time. Oh, well, I have caregivers that live in the same neighborhoods as my clients. Yes, I'm sure that there are occasions where that happens. But for the most part, all right, you're going to have your caregivers live quite a distance away from your clients. I mean, it's just generally the income brackets are a lot different. So let's take an example. Let's just use Philadelphia as an example. The median household income in Philadelphia is like 68,000 a year. So your clients or potential clients, if you're in private pay, they have to live in more affluent communities. You're looking at communities that they have household incomes of 90, 100, 150,000 annually in order to be able to pay for this service. That means higher mortgages, higher rents, you know um, higher property taxes, a lot higher cost of living. And most caregivers that are earning between 12 and $17 an hour generally, very generally, will not live in those communities. All right. So understanding where it is that you're going and where you're going to target is your number one activity, that you have to do as far as marketing if you're preparing to move into a new territory, if you're preparing to open a second location. All right. So understanding that layout, it's also going to help you understand what facilities, like which hospitals service those communities that you're trying to target. They're also going to help you understand which skilled nursing facilities or inpatient rehabs service those hospitals, and all of your potential referral partners will build around understanding where your clients live. Now, the other part of this, of understanding your service area, is going to have to also do with recruitment and retention. I already mentioned the part that your caregivers aren't really going to live where your clients live, but the caregivers that already work in the facilities that service your clients, or that are willing to go up to those facilities, they generally will congregate around there. So you have to understand the data. Like, where do they live in relation to these facilities? Where do they live in relation to where your clients live? It'll also help you better strategically plan for marketing, for recruiting. All right. So that is the number one activity. Number two, you want to hire a marketer. Look, if you're expanding to a second location, I got to tell you, you should have enough revenue coming in from your first location to where you can hire staff. If you're not at a point where you can hire staff, it may not be the best idea to open a second location. It's going to be very difficult to manage two large geographic areas and get a consistent and predictable flow of clients. The only way that that will work is if you have a business that's hybrid, meaning that you are taking 60 to 80% of your income is from private pay, and then that 20 to 40% of your income will come from Medicaid. Then, if you have one territory that's dedicated to Medicaid services, then it's okay. You don't really need to hire a marketer. But if you are generating and equally splitting, which is what I'm hoping you're doing, both territories or both locations, service areas, is private pay with only a small portion of your business coming from state payer source, such as, such as Medicaid, Medicare, now we're looking at, now we're looking at needing someone else to manage that sales area. Now, as an owner, you should be supervising all of this, and you should be well aware of how you're going to manage your business development process. Okay, and we actually have a class that we're putting together now on how to do that effectively. Or if you're watching this in our Facebook group, we do have a free training on it as part of one of the modules. So managing the process is going to be important, but you need to have somebody who's going to dedicatedly work in that area, that you're going to be able to set expectations, preferably expectations that'll be based on billable hours. You're going to have a clear understanding of how many hours need. You're going to have a commission structure or bonus structure in place. All of this stuff in order to better manage your process. Now, when we get to that then from there, that person's going to need to start to develop that territory. You can see it all kind of plays into each other. They'll begin to develop that territory in order to create those initial introductions, break into those first facilities, and start building out revenue. Now, if you've noticed throughout all of this, I've never said you're going to get a new office yet. You're still running all of this from your initial location, at least temporarily, because the third and final thing is, now from your original location, you're going to start building that second location till it is generating 20% of the income overall. So, meaning if you are billing out, okay, $50,000 monthly from territory one, that means that you need to generate $10,000 worth of monthly revenue from territory two before you open the office. Now, your marketer will have to work that territory until you get to that point. All right. And you're going to have to start building those relationships, show depth. There's a lot of things. It's not just about going out there and having somebody else do it. You have to show depth of office. You have to show the reputation, build it all out. Now, this, depending on how long you've been in the area, in the community, this can be quite a quick and easy process. 10,000 a month sounds like a big deal, but it's really only like two or three clients. The reason is, if we take into account the true cost of the true cost per hour. So basically, what your true gross margins are beyond the caregiver. I'm talking about what it's going to cost to pay to start your case, what it's going to cost, because it depends on the state you're in. Like if you're in a state like New Jersey or Pennsylvania, where you have to have a nurse start your case, or Ohio or a couple of other ones, then the cost to start of case is a little bit more than just having a caregiver show up. So these are things you want to keep in mind. Figure that out. 10,000 a month should be somewhere between, you know, um, $3,000 and $6,000 gross profit at the end of the month. That should be enough to at least sufficiently cover part of your marketer's salary, at least a large part of it, and then from there you can successfully start to expand. Ideally, if you're doing only 50,000 a month in territory one, I do think that's too soon. That's my opinion. I think you need to possibly go for a little bit higher revenue goals, but those are different issues, and that's really going to depend on where your agency is, who you are as an individual, how well capitalized you are, and your confidence in your team's ability to grow the business. There's a lot more involved in that. That's a very strategic plan that we're talking about, but you still want, your goal is Office One needs to generate 20% additional income that's coming directly from where Office Two is going to be. So, as a recap, let's go back. Number one, build out that territory. Really nail down where everything is. Where do your clients live? Where do your caregivers live? Where's the hospitals that service those areas? And what facilities feed the hospital? And what facilities does the hospital feed? All right, get that really clear out. Number two, make sure you have a marketer either already working for you that you're going to assign to that territory, or hire one specifically for that area and have them start working those relationships. This is going to be the most cost effective way to do this. You will not lose business in your original area because you're neglecting it, because you have somebody else dedicated to working that other part. Now, once you have that in place, you're supervising, they're getting used to the way you work, they understand the expectations, they're building up that territory. Now, once 20% of overall monthly revenue is coming from that second office, second location, that's when you want to start looking for the office, hiring additional staff for support. It doesn't have to be a full functioning office. You can make it a satellite support office, meaning just a scheduler, a dedicated scheduler, slash office manager, so that they can go do the in-homes plus your marketer. It's not the primary office. I mean, but that again, it's really going to depend on how you choose your to manage things. But these are the first three steps that you should have, when it comes to preparing to market and grow and open your second location. All right. It's really about coming in and doing this. Once you have those elements, you have the understanding of your territory, you have that marketer in place, you're starting to work towards that 20%. Some of the things you want to do is you want to start, pre-opening of the second location, do a passive Facebook campaign, something to get brand recognition out there. You should have been recruiting this whole time. You should have been making introductions. We have our zone marketing method that we teach, where you're really going to break down into 5 primary zones, and then each zone will be broken down into A and B. So this way you can really map things out, start developing section by section, grow it out, and get your word out there. Start doing some community activities. You know, um, start speaking at community centers. Become part of the Chamber of Commerce. You should, because you're already opening a second location. Brand recognition should not be an issue there, and it should not be that big of an obstacle. It's just, here we are. Let's get going while you're waiting to actually open. Coming soon, new location. That's going to be the focus of your Facebook or internet social media campaign. And this is really what's going to be the crux of your introductions while you're getting everything up and running, and if licensing is an issue, depending on where you are, and so on and so forth. So thank you everybody for watching this. Thank you, Cassandra, for your awesome question that, we hope we answered it for you properly. Leave us a comment below if you're an agency and you've got more than one location. Do these steps make sense to you? Did you follow something similar? Did you guys do something completely different? Let us know. Leave a comment. Leave a and don't forget, if you're watching the replay of this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the little notification bell to be informed of all our future videos and live events. And also, don't forget to check us out at thebrionasgroup.com and go under our events tab to register for our territory optimization masterclass coming up on January 26, 2022. All right. And we look forward to seeing you, and thank you once again for watching.